For a snappy tomato pizza made the way you like it. Enjoy their buffet twice daily or be a couch tomato and call for delivery. Call 588-SNAP. Snappy Tomato Pizza, University Shopping Plaza in Martin.
Skyhawk Talk, Snappy Tomato Pizza. Chris Brinkley here with Coach Kevin McMillan. And the Skyhawks set to take on Vanderbilt Wednesday night at the Elam Center. Coach, long week this past week for you. You play at Indiana State, up at Terre Haute, and down at Memphis against two very strong, big basketball teams.
Both those teams have got tremendous post play, and no secret that that's a weakness of ours. But both those teams have got good teams, play well at home, and had girls get double doubles on us, which not a good recipe. But I didn't think our effort at Indiana State was near what it should have been, and that. Look at the points in the paint. You can see the difference in the ball game. We got outscored 38-18 in the paint, and kind of the same MO at Memphis. And that's something that we're going to have to figure out how to deal with. But that's why you play these teams, is so you can see those weaknesses and see what you've got to do to be able to compete.
I was following the live stats as the game was progressing. The men were playing that night, and Coach, we were down early, then we came back, then we got down, then we came back in the end and made it a ball game in the last couple of minutes. So the Indiana State game was not like the final score shows. You had a chance to win there late.
No, it was we had cut it to 4 with play and got a stop, and then had a wide open three-pointer at the top of the key and missed it. And to be honest with you, I think that kind of and we didn't answer anything after that. But we did get down early. And then we came back and battled, and it got down again, and we came back, made a game, and that's just you hate to say it, that's what a youthful team is going to do, and we did it last year, and we've done it this year. The difference is you're starting to see us overcome that. Sometimes it will do that. We'll overcome it and win ball games. On the road, we were able to win games on the road at St. Louis and Southern Miss. But what our kids have got to learn is that you can't ever do it. It's not. Sometimes you can overcome it. You don't want to overcome. You don't want to deal with it in the first place.
Yeah, you don't want the alarm clock to go off late.
No, it better go off before you start.
Is there as a coach? I know how you're going to answer this, but I'll ask you anyway.
Okay.
But your team is prepared and you're getting ready to go on the floor. How much effect can a coach have in those opening minutes of how fired up a team is?
Well, it's funny you should ask that, Chris, because at that game, we talked about after our pregame speech. I asked all the coaches. We were sitting there, and I did, all of us. I mean, Weatherly. It started with Weatherly, and it went to everybody, and it was basically, do you ever remember what a coach said before a game?
And
out of the entire staff, there was only one person that could remember a pregame speech that any coach ever said. So what does that tell you?
The answer is no. But in the movies, Coach.
In the movies, the coach is responsible for that big speech that gets them fired up and ready to play.
Yeah. But now at the same time, I'm smart enough to know that you make one speech to motivate the team. It's probably that same speech is not going to work the next time. I mean,
no, it won't.
As a motivational person, you got to keep your players on their toes.
Well, the thing that I've learned is you can't come up with a speech for every game.
Right.
I take the philosophy, well, then I'm not going to come up with a speech for any game. Because what if I come up with the perfect speech, but it was on the wrong night?
You're neurotic.
So honestly, we walk out there, and it's pretty much the same speech every time. You got to get on the board. It's like you and I talking in the pregame. You laugh at me when you ask me what the keys to the game are.
It's the same.
You just listen to the pregame speech.
Yeah.
It is. It's are y'all ready to play? Are you loose? You know what you need to do. Let's go.
But I like your mentality in that last year when we won the OVC semifinal tournament game, I noticed that nobody really celebrated. And it was a business approach, which is the same way you approach the pregame.
That's right. We know what we have to do, and you know what we're expected to do. And if it's going to take a rah-rah speech to get at the poor old players, because I don't know that I've got one in me.
When you first started coaching and you were more naive and greener, Were you ambitious enough to think that really made a big difference?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I tried to give that big rah-rah speech, and, I think the first time I gave it was probably the first game we ever played, and we got beat by 10 and to a team that wasn't very good. And then the next time it was we got beat by 20, and so, I kind of thought, this isn't – either I'm not very good at this speech-giving stuff or something's wrong. And I thought back and was like, okay, what speeches have I been given that got me ready to play? And there wasn't any. You were ready to play or you weren't.
And I think that part of that mentality is just knowing, as you said earlier, that when you go out to play at Vanderbilt or Memphis or Indiana State, when you walk out on the floor, you know you can win. If you take care of yourself, you can win that game.
Well, you have one of two things. Yes, that's what I hope, that they know that if they take care of business, they can win the game. Number two is what happened, what we saw 2 years ago was, if we don't take care of our business, we can get embarrassed.
Oh, that's motivation.
And, good Lord, yes.
Yeah.
That's a ton of motivation.
Actually, embarrassment is a bigger motivation than just winning.
Yes, it is.
It is for me, personally.
What you saw 2 years ago was our bunch was going out there not to get embarrassed. And when Weatherly finally hit that shot that put us over the edge, it changed, but it didn't. They still knew if they went back and did what they used to do, we were fixing to get embarrassed. And, but that team was different because they had so many walk-ons. But it's the same concept. It's, if you're going out to play whoever, if you're either motivated to try to win a ball game, or motivated not to get embarrassed, or you're probably going to get beat.
Okay. We'll take a break. We'll talk about Memphis. We'll also talk about one other thought. I was going to ask you about Shannon Thomas. She has a big night against you again, 22 points and 17 rebounds. You've seen her 3 times. Is that right? How is she 6'4"? Really?
6'4".
She is.
She's 6'4". Yeah. And thing is I don't. This is going to sound bad, but I guess we're in Martin and UT. I hope I never see her again.
No, that's okay.
She averaged 25 points and 20 rebounds in 2 games. So unless she's got some eligibility left and transfers and can play.
She's the Indiana State post player, and her size definitely gives her an advantage. What would she do against Vanderbilt or Memphis or some of those?
Oh, she'll hold her own on anybody in the country.
Yeah.
Her thing, according to her coaches, I know her coaches, and that's why I'm on the road. And I asked them. I said, "Why don't y'all go to her all the time?" They said she doesn't do that all the time.
Oh. And
I was like, "Well, gee, thanks," because she does it against us, and she did it again. And I don't know if that's because we're so guard oriented, and I don't know what that is. But if she plays that way for them all year long, they're going to be tough to handle because she can score on anybody.
And I think historically, and I've seen this over and over, Rhino's real good statistically about saying, this player's averaging this many points against this team. And it seems that players either do really well against certain teams or don't do as well. And, once it happens one time, it gets in their head and it affects them the next time.
It's 2 things. One is matchups. Teams that are match up a certain way with another team, the game's going to tend to be a certain way, and then a post player could assert that. And the other one is that people are not mentally tough enough to say, I'm going to do it every single night. Mm-hmm. They walk out there and go, okay, everything's lined up. I'm going to be able to do it tonight. Well, the good ones, the Michael Jordans, they're going to be able to do it every single night, no matter what the matchups are, no matter what anything is. So that's what we strive to get with our team.
But do you think mentally sometimes a player will say, oh, wow, I had 20 points against Tennessee State. We're playing them tonight. I had 20 points against them last time we played. Yeah.
They do. And I think I think that's a little bit of a sign of a weakness. Because I had 20 points tonight because that's what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
That was my job tonight. Well, tonight it may be get 20 again. You better get it. Well, no, but they're guarding me harder tonight, Coach. Well, that's still your job. Let's don't start saying because of this or because of that. If we need to get rebounds, we need to get rebounds. Well, Coach, okay. So because they're bigger than you are, your job has changed for us? No, you still got to go get 20 rebounds. Oh, you want me to play that hard? Yeah, that's what we got to do. So and people don't do that. They want to go, okay, I can score tonight, or I scored against them last time, I can do it again tonight. Well, what happens if they triple team you? You're going to come out and say, well, I would have scored, but they triple teamed me.
Yeah.
Well, hey, if you said you're going to get 20, go get 20. That's tough, and people don't understand that there's some pressure on kids to, Butler and Newsom are expected to get 20 every night. If they don't, we're all going, what's wrong with them? Well, they may have 3 people on them, but we still expect them to do their jobs. Well, it's like 2 years ago, Erica Glisson was at the point. She never played point guard in high school at all. Well, we walked in here, Erica, you're going to play point for us. Okay, she did it, and she did it well, and she ended up in the end of the season, wasn't turning the ball over hard in any at all. But what if she had taken the thing, okay, I'm not a point guard. Well, then we're not going to be near as good a team. So you have to figure out what you do for your team, and then you got to be willing to do it every single night. And that's where that's why you see some of those great teams, why they're great, because teams are willing to do what they got to do for their team.
Yeah, but even to micro detail that, and it's the golf analogy, is that play each shot as it is. Don't worry about the last shot. Don't worry about the next shot. This needs to be the best shot you can possibly make. If you do that with every pass, every dribble, every possession, every half, every game, you're a pretty good basketball team.
And that's our basketball team. That's what we try to do. I don't ask them to be I don't ask them to shoot a Tiger Woods shot on the third shot out of the bunker or whatever. No, just hit the best Jasmine Newsom shot you can hit. Hit the best Jaclissa Hayslip shot you can hit. And if you hit the best one that you can hit every time, we'll be fine in the long run. But don't start looking around going, what about that one or what about this one? But I'm playing against them or I'm playing. No. You be the best you can be, and then that's all we can ask of you. And we're getting there. We really are, but we're not there. And the way that I coach and my philosophy and stuff, my teams will never click until everybody sells out to that. And it's you can see it when it happens, but it's hard. But you're not real sure why you're not until you see that you are. That's hard to understand.
No, we'll take a break. Come back more with Coach Kevin McMillan. Skyhawk Talk continues from the Skyhawk Sports Network.
We at JD Distributors in Union City of Jacksonville.
I saw that yesterday. It was the first time I've really noticed it, how inconsistent Jasmine is sometimes. I mean, I've heard you say it. We're not on the air. Are you taping this?
We can now be your single source supplier for janitorial supplies and equipment, laundry and wear wash chemicals, food service.
So which one?
And now office supplies, office furniture, and printing. Please call us at JD Distributors